Quit using a savings account to put your savings in. I'll show you what to do with it instead. You shouldn't use a regular savings account for your savings because it has a low APY, meaning your money is really not earning anything by sitting there. You're actually losing money because of inflation over time and because it's not making you money by sitting there. It also can sometimes have maintenance fees depending on the bank, and some banks also require a minimum balance to be held in this account to avoid fees. There are really three options you can use instead. The first one is a high yield savings account. This is a regular savings account, except it has good interest, good APY. APY stands for annual percentage yield, and this is how much interest that your money is going to earn over the year. These accounts should have no fees and no minimum balance requirements. It does depend on the bank, so make sure that these are two important things that you're looking for in a high yield savings account. You can also access your money anytime with these accounts. Some banks do have withdrawal limits, maybe 6 times per month or whatever that bank requires. Make sure that you do your research. Some examples of good high yield savings accounts are Ally, which is my favorite, Wealthfront, Marcus. There are also others like SoFi, Citibank. You just really need to do your research and see which one is right for you. Another option is CD, which is certificate of deposit. These accounts usually do have higher rates than a high yield savings account, but your money is locked away for a term, meaning that you cannot access it for the duration of that term. This is a good option if you know you're not going to need this money for a certain time period and you want it to grow more than it would in a high yield savings account, because a lot of times, like I said, they do have higher rates. Just make sure you're not going to need that money for that term, because if you need to withdraw it, you're going to have a penalty. Another option is a money market account. These also have good APY. The difference really between a money market account and a high yield savings account is that usually money market accounts give you a debit card or allow check access to this account so that you can use a debit card or checks to get money out of this account. You also need to check and make sure that there are no minimum balance requirements for this account, because sometimes there are, and sometimes they require you to deposit a certain amount when you open the account. The reason I don't use a money market account is because I don't want debit access or check access to this account. I don't want to be able to easily swipe a card and use my savings. I like to have it in a high yield savings, but whatever's right for you is what's right for you. This is not to be confused with a money market fund, which would be an investment and would not be FDIC insured and would also incur fees, also called expense ratio. When you're trying to decide which one is right for you, here's what you need to look for. You need to make sure that a bank is FDIC insured, meaning that your money is going to be safe with that bank up to usually $250,000 per account. You also need to compare APYs to see what APY you can get. Maybe you want to look for the best one. They usually range somewhere between 3% to 5.5%. And then you also need to look for minimum balance requirements. Does that account require it, or does that bank require it? And what type of access are you going to have to your money? If this is all confusing to you and you don't know what to do, go with the high yield savings account. This is a great account. It's a great option. You have good APY and no fees. At the end of the day, it is your money, your life, and you're in control of it, okay? So do your research and really decide which one of these is best for your situation. But I can tell you right now, the regular savings account ain't it, so don't go there. Go high yield savings account, CD, or money market, depending on your situation. You got this, friend.